Welcome back to the Ryoku Show. I'm really happy you're here. Whether this is your first time listening or you've been with me for a while, thank you for spending part of your day or night with me. Today, we are talking about something that holds us back, the idea of being ready. We often wait for the perfect moment. We want to feel clear, confident, or fully prepared before we start something new, like public speaking, starting a difficult conversation, asking for help, changing careers. But what I've learned from my own experience and from watching other people is waiting to feel ready is often just a way to delay things. It might feel responsible or maybe even safe, but most of the time it's holding us back. And the truth is, clarity doesn't come before action. It comes because you take action. You don't wait around until you feel clear. You move forward even if it feels messy or uncertain. And that's what I want to explore today with you. Why waiting to be ready keeps us stuck, and how small, imperfect actions create real direction. Why one step forward opens more doors than more planning ever will. So, what does being ready really mean to you? When you say, I'm not ready yet, what are you actually waiting for? Usually, it's feelings like not feeling confident enough, fear of messing up, worry about failing or what other people might think. And instead of moving forward, you stay stuck, researching, planning, watching more videos, reading more articles, or tweaking little details that don't matter anyway. It feels like progress, but actually, it's just staying on the runway, moving in circles without ever taking off. The real challenge isn't that you lack readiness, it's that you are waiting for permission, maybe from someone else, or even from yourself to begin. When I first thought about starting this podcast, I sat on the idea for a long time. It wasn't that I didn't want to do it, but I kept thinking, I don't even have topics. I'm not good at speaking, and I need to get better at organizing my thoughts. So I waited. I told myself I'd start once I felt more ready, more confident, and more clear. But the truth is, clarity didn't come from waiting, it came from starting. And honestly, that wasn't the real reason I waited. I was afraid I would sound awkward, worried that no one would listen or what people might think. So I waited and waited until one day I signed up for a program that taught me how to launch a podcast. And that's how I launched this podcast 2 years ago. Was it perfect? No, I spent almost like a day to record one episode. Was it amazing? Not at all. But I started and I kept recording and recording. That first step changed everything. I built the habit of creating an episode, sitting in front of the camera, and start talking. And eventually, I became more comfortable being in front of the camera. And I learned what topics felt right, what to change, and what to keep. And this is how I kept going with my episodes. The clarity I was waiting for, it didn't come before I started. It came because I started. And take a moment to reflect. Clarity is something you earn by moving. It doesn't come from thinking more or waiting for confidence to show up. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself you can handle new things, and even when you feel uncomfortable at first. So confidence comes after surviving a small risk you take. And think back to the first time you tried something new, your first job, your first creative project, learning a new skill like driving a car. Were you really ready? Probably not, but you figured it out as you went. You learn and you adjust it. And that's how life works. And let's be honest, how often do we really feel ready for something that we want, something that's meaningful to us? Those things come with some discomfort. And common ways we avoid taking the first step is once I finish this course, then I'll start. Once I have more money, then I'll start. Once I have more confidence, then I'll show up. Once my kids go to college, then I'll finally focus on myself. Once everything is perfect, then I'll go for it. But the only way you figure those things out is by starting. You can't think your way into clarity, confidence, and you have to act your way into it. And the good news is it doesn't have to be a big leap. You just need to take the next small step. So here is a little invitation. What's the one thing you've been holding back on because you don't feel ready? What's one small step you could take toward it today? Maybe sending a message to someone to ask for help, writing a rough draft of your idea, recording a 2-minute voice note, creating a private test version of your offering, or even just saying your idea out loud to someone you trust. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be public. It just has to be real, and it has to come from you. And one of the helpful mindset shift I've learned is this. Action creates clarity and not the other way around. When you move forward, you learn what works and what doesn't. You figure out what energizes you and what drains you. You get clearer about what you want and don't want. And even if things don't go perfectly, even if you get it wrong, you are not starting over. You've gained experience, insight, and momentum. And that's way more valuable than the perfect plan that never sees the light of day. If you've been telling yourself, I'll start when I feel ready, I can tell you that you will be waiting forever because starting something new feels scary, and that day when you feel ready will not come. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to move forward without full certainty. Actually, the people who make the most progress aren't those who are the most confident. They are the ones who are willing to show up even when they are unsure. You can build confidence as you go. You can get clarity through motion, not by waiting. And if you are still hesitating, here's something I often remind myself. I'm more ready than I think. And I've been getting ready for a while, just in quiet, invisible ways. All those books you've read, all those notes you've taken, and all the conversations you had, and things you've observed, challenges you overcame in life, they count. They've been preparing you more than you realize. So if you are listening right now and you've been waiting, I want you to know you have permission to start, even if you don't feel ready. No one is going to hand you a certificate saying you are ready. It's okay to start. The moment when everything feels perfectly clear and risk-free will never come. But you can still move forward. You can still show up. You can trust that you'll figure out as you go. You don't have to be fearless. You just need to be willing to be seen, willing to grow, willing to begin. And you've already know enough to take the next step. And the step will show you the one after it and the next one after that. As we wrap up, here's what I want you to remember. Being ready isn't a destination. It's often just a story we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. Clarity doesn't strike like lightning. It's something you earn by moving forward one step at a time. And you are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time to begin. If this episode gave you a little nudge or something to think about, I'd love it for you to share it with someone else who might need to hear this message. If you haven't already, go to the show note and grab a free guide to unlock 5 steps to create the life you love. Until next time, keep shining.